My name is Haley Wigboldy. I am 17 years old. Last year, I was a sophomore in high school. I was a dancer. I performed in choir. I never really had a medical history, not even a broken bone. I grew up in a house with divorced parents and 3 older siblings. My life was complicated, but it was still pretty normal. It wasn't until February 19, 2019, when cancer impacted my life in a way I never expected. I was diagnosed with stage 2, type B, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I was a perfectly normal teenager who all of a sudden found out that my life was never going to be the same. My doctors told me I was going to have 6 rounds of chemo. Each round lasted 6 days straight. I lost my hair, had mouth sores, terrible body aches. I had to get shots twice a day because I developed a blood clot in the end of my PICC line, which is in my heart. I was badly bruised on every limb. When I shared my testimony last year, I was heading into my last round of chemo. My previous rounds were pretty difficult, but nothing could ever compare to that last round. I had to get my PICC line put in for the last time, and it did not exactly go smoothly. My veins were so small and collapsed that the needle kept going through my veins and poking me in the shoulder. There might have been a lot of numbing medications, but since I had to stay awake the entire time, the moment they went through my vein, I felt every second. There were a few more hurdles that I had to jump through, but those are harder to remember because my mind was so set on ending my last round and finally getting that silly little bubble parade. I was beyond ready and excited to get back to my life until reality struck yet again. About a week after chemo, I would always come down with a fever and mouth sores. After my last round, I threw up for the first time. It is insane to me that this was the first time, and I can honestly say I can thank all of your prayers for that. I never really felt much fear until that last visit. I went in with the same fever and mouth sores, thinking in a couple days I would be out, right on schedule. Unfortunately, this was not the case. I was put into the PICU because I was hypotensive and tachycardic, meaning my blood pressure was very low and my heart was beating really fast. I had an infection somewhere in my body that put me into septic shock. On top of all that, I developed an intestinal infection called C. diff. I tell you this not to feel bad for me, but to make you realize that in order to change lives and use the gifts God gives you, you're going to have to fight some serious battles. I do not think it is a coincidence that before my testimony last year, I got mouth sores for the first time. I do not think it was a coincidence that I got so unbelievably sick after I spoke on an experience that I believe I can use to change lives. I honestly believe that I can help people with what I went through, and something was trying to stop me. Many times I felt very alone because even though I knew I had so much love and support behind me, no one really knew what it was like, not even another cancer patient, because that experience is just so different for everyone. I met a friend through this, and she told me when she did not know how to explain how she felt, she would say it's like going through a haunted house. By yourself. When you go through with friends, you can experience that scary together, and it's fun. But with cancer, it's like going through alone, and no matter how much you explain it, no one can understand what it's like. Everyone goes through dark and scary times, many times very alone, like I did. To many, this disease spreading all around the world is terrifying. To me, it's like bringing back all of the things that I thought I was done with. Another year of fighting germs because I can't fight them like everyone else. Another year of missing state for dance. And yet another year of not being able to do something so simple as hanging out with a group of friends. This was all already my life once. I just hate that it has to be it again. And not only for me, but for everyone. This also makes it a lot easier to realize that you're not alone. Everyone around you is dealing with this scary unknown. Instead of having constant fear, because trust me, when I say that does not make things easier, trust God and trust that He can do work through those who are trying to get a handle on it. I went through something that broke my body down, physically and mentally. I was scared. I constantly questioned why it happened to me of all people. Going through cancer made me open my eyes to something really important lessons that I don't think I could have learned any other way. It made me realize how much I worried before about all these little things that do not matter, that I have bigger issues than who broke up with who at school. I knew I wanted to be a child psychologist, but now I want to go deeper and be able to work in the hospital and stand beside kids who are fighting the same fight I did. I want to be able to be there and be someone they know who went through it firsthand. Now I know not everyone may be the biggest fan of tattoos, but this year I decided to get one on the anniversary of when I was diagnosed. It's located between two PICC line scars. In the tattoo it says Yahweh Rapha, which means God of healing. Below it is Psalm 119:71, which is, "It was good for me to suffer so that I might learn your commands." I believe I went through this darkness so I can help others see the light. Though state competition may have been canceled, I held the doctor to the idea that I would dance again, and I did. I competed all season. My body is constantly strengthening. This proves that even though my normal has changed slightly, it's possible that physically I'd get back to my old self. But in other ways, I don't want to go back to the way things were before. I'm grateful for the lessons God has taught me. And maybe in the weirdness of what's going on in the world, God has something more to teach us. Where are you seeing God in all this? Because trust me, He's there. Your life may seem scary and dark right now. In some senses it is, but here's to the hope of Easter. Jesus came out of the tomb. He has brought light into my darkness. If you let Jesus in, He will do the same for you.